flight boss, bitch. For sure. Listen to the my name of that Terry Smooth. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about women are walking vibrations, part 2. That's right, because I got a video that you can go to that's called Women Are Walking Vibrations. But this is a part 2, an extension, so people can clearly get a full understanding on what I actually mean by that. Because I'm also going to make a video about men are walking frequencies. Now you need to know frequency and vibration is something that our spirit is doing. And our spirit create energy forces, aka what y'all want to call from non-physical to physical, yang, solid, energy, whatever the fuck y'all want to call. This is what the spirit is creating. Now with these energies, we create certain masculine energies and certain feminine energies, and these energies become shapes and forms. The more force we put to it, it can become a realm of reality or it can become solid. So these are vehicles that we can go into as no things, aka spirit, and you can experience your space within that vehicle, aka your spirit is your space. So for your space to know what's going on within it, you can experience it within that vehicle. So let's get into this nature when we're talking about women are walking vibrations. You see what I'm saying? Because we're all energy. We're all in the yang realm as far as the physical fleshly fluids and shapes and forms, and from non-physical to physical, from gas, particles, and whatever the fuck elements y'all want to call it, right? This is all part of the physical realm. But our spirit be creating shapes and forms to mimic what the spirit is already doing. So you got spirits that like to correlate with the feminine energy, and you got spirits that like to correlate with the masculine energy. But truly, no spirit has a gender. Spirits just correlate with energy signatures, and they create the shape and form that they want to represent themselves into in whatever realm of reality that they are in at the moment. So now when I say women are walking vibrations, right? Women is more correlated to the feminine energy. So this is the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, the subconscious realm, the yin realm. So they're more in a circumstance, in a situation where they're before the second coming or before man, but at the same time they was the second aspect that came secondly from the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension to create the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So look at the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension as a womb or a space or something or a container or something that's withholding. This is why the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension is going to be correlated to the code energy. You know what I'm saying? Something being cold, because that's when we get the switching of energies. When you get to the yang realm and the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension, that's fire. But once we get rising up, it gets more cold, and this is getting more internal. Your internal realm, not what's outside of you transforming, what's going on internally. So if you get emotionally cold or have thought forms in your head that you can kind of be dry in, for the most part, you won't receive any transformations in your life. But being too stuck and fixated into one pattern, slowly but shortly, your spirit going to want to go through a transformative situation in order to gain some experience. So this is kind of like deep spiritual science when we get into this knowledge that I'm kicking right now. So when I talk about women are walking vibrations, they carry a heavy energy from the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm down here on the 3rd dimensional aspect. So for the most part, keep this in mind. The state of beings of the females and the women in your area actually manifest and create the circumstances that's actually going on. For an example, let's go to a low vibrational neighborhood, like per se where I live at, or things of that nature, right? Say you got a group of females that stay in a certain neighborhood that feel a certain way. Say they may have grew up a certain way, so they're kind of hard, they fought a lot, and then they grew up thinking that relationships is looked at in certain ways. So they don't look at you know what I'm saying, being straight up in their relationships as the right thing to do. They go based upon their mother and their grandmother and their family relatives. Now here's the thing. Females like this manifest circumstances and situations in front of them of what? Males fighting for them, or chaotic males, or circumstances and situations that become chaotic for them to the point that they have to beat another bitch ass, or they end up being jumped. Now here's the thing, what's actually going on. The female herself, her state of being that she's in is actually manifesting that. So when she walks around, she has that vibration. So other people pick up on that vibration as an antenna, mainly guys. And they pick up on it as it being a frequency first before they start to resonate with what kind of vibe this female has. So it's easy to pick up a female's vibe quicker than a male's vibe. But for the most part, you could pick up a male's vibe based upon his frequency, aka the stuff that he say and the stuff that he do. You can't pick up the Now, you can't pick up a frequency like that from a female. You may not know what she's actually thinking, but you could pick up the vibrations a lot faster. So a lot of times, do not put all your eggs in a basket when it comes into believing everything a female say or believing everything that she's doing in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that she's saying and the things that she's doing may not correlate to the actual state of being that she actually in. This what makes women more decisive. This what makes women more indirect. This will make women more passive. But this also is the same energy that makes them more powerful. You see what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in mind. So based upon a woman's state of being, I say you're around a neighborhood or a location, or you grew up amongst a lot of females that have the vibration of wanting to succeed, or a lot of conceitedness, and they feel like before they even get in cahoots with a relationship with another man or something like that, this man have to have certain characteristics. Not like the neighborhood, like I was just telling y'all, everybody is just for everybody and experiences this is just going chaotic. I'm talking about like a woman who's probably more detailed and analyzed about before who she let between her legs. So for the most part, if you grew up around a lot of females like this, you probably a child, whether you're a male or a female, you're probably a child that grew up in an environment of, you know what I'm saying, experiencing more success, or experiencing more self-esteem, or experiencing more. So when this type of woman is walking around and have other guys picking up on her vibrations and things of that nature, before they even get with her, they already feel like they have to do certain things. They already feel like they can't say certain things that they may have said to maybe another girl who was carrying another vibe. You know what I'm saying? Women, your vibe is important. You know what I'm saying? So be careful of that. This is why a lot of times say females that you be in a house one time, right, and say you just want to dress seductive one day, right? So, but you know that's just not you. You just feel sexy that day. So when you go out in the world, that vibe get picked up by a guy as a frequency, right? Now, for the most part, guys are kind of stupid a little bit. So the first thing he's going to pick up is kind of how you dressing. So he may come at you in a certain way. So then when you come at him in the way that you act, your true natural state of being is, you may throw him off. This is why it's important for all females to actually be true to yourself. Act in your true state of being. If you're a naturally sexual person, act that way. If you're a naturally smart person, act that way. If don't kind of mix and mingle based upon the people, places, and things you are around, because you could be mixing your vibrations with other people's vibrations. Therefore, when your conscious wave, aka your vibration and your influence, go amongst other people, it won't be flowing in the way that is supposed to be directed. You know what I'm saying? It'll be flowing in other kind of ways because you didn't went in other people's currents, aka redirected how your water stream go a little bit. So keep that in mind also. Now, also when you're in a circumstance of being amongst people, when you're carrying certain emotions and feelings, you need to know that you're vibrating way higher. Now, look, when we say vibrate high, vibrate low, this ain't necessarily a religious thing, and who's more consciousness or not. When we say vibrating high, vibrating low, there's always a vibrational scale, no matter what realm of reality that you are in. Now, the importance here is to learn how to balance that and learn how to utilize the low vibrational energy when it's needed, and learn how to utilize the high vibrational energy when it's needed. Therefore, you will understand balance. But too many people get lost into religious aspects, aka spirits that then taught them they knowledge on what low vibration and high vibrational is. So a person would get lost into a low vibrational state, and then not know when it's time to be high vibrational, and then a person to get lost in a high vibrational state, not knowing when it's time to be low vibrational. Now, for all my religious people who may be spiritually fucked up a little bit, let me explain. Right now, you could be in a very low vibrational circumstance. So let's explain a low vibrational circumstance. You may be in a situation where you're arguing with your partner, or arguing with a neighbor, or arguing with a coworker every day, right? So you may not understand that's a low vibrational circumstance, because for you to be in any disagreement with someone in the first place, both of y'all was indulging in some form of a low vibrational circumstance. Otherwise, it'd be turn the other cheek, or let bygones be bygones, or it wouldn't be no circumstance in the first place that both people is attaching to. It wouldn't be no low shaping form, concept, or idea or experience both parties is attaching to in the first place to have a friction or disagreement. So that's what you need to understand in the first place. Now, say now you're tired of arguing with this person, right? For the most part, part, now that you're in a low vibrational circumstance, and say you're in a situation where you can't take the high road because this is your partner, or this is someone that you work with every day, or this is your neighbor. So to the most part, that's like somebody slapping you upside your head every day, and until you slap them back, you will never stop getting slapped upside your goddamn head. So for the most part, here's the time where you have to utilize a low vibrational circumstance in order for you to take yourself into a high vibrational place, and you won't have to experience that low vibration anymore. So here is a circumstance right here where you had to utilize the low vibrational circumstance for the betterment of you. So that's letting you know by default that low vibration and high vibration has nothing to do with right or wrong. And if you are attaching it to right or wrong, you are a person that's lost into a religious aspect, aka you are lost into a spirit, your Lord that then taught you that aspect, and now you are lost just because that spirit didn't like that rule. So they wanted to make up the rule the way that they wanted to look at it. So now that demon then taught you some other shit. But that's what you need to understand. You need to purely be at the center stage and don't be off on any scale, so you can truly have a pure perception of this world that we are in, and don't get lost into any concepts and then remix your demonic mind into thinking whatever you're doing is right when it's in naturality is actually wrong in the higher dimensions. So when we talk about walking vibration, see, you need to understand when we're talking about females carry a strong vibrational energy because they are automatically tapped into the moon, which is the tides. So they're automatically wise, and they automatically control the vibe. And the subconscious realm actually controls and manifests the conscious realm, which is the yang, what becomes solid. So this is why women control men, and this is why women control all the shapes and forms that's in front of them. So even if you got a woman that's strong with a lot of masculine energy, that female will rule all the other women that she's around, just because she's utilizing an extra energy that she don't even necessarily have to use. So women are powerful in some old other shit because they can tap into frequency also. It's just when a vibration and a frequency come together, a lot of shit takes shape and form, aka a lot of energy, a lot of force get created, aka a lot of circumstances and situations get manifested in front of people's lives and everybody that's attached to this female's lives. So females, it's important for y'all to be in a state of being where you always can be comfortable and relaxed, and only utilize your high volatile vibrations when it's time to, aka when the man ain't doing right, aka when the circumstance that you in ain't relating to your current flow, aka and when your children is not acting right. That's the only time you need to be high volatile with your energy. But don't just be going off in the world in your natural vibrational state. Like if you live in a neighborhood like mine or something like that, y'all know what y'all do. Y'all worse. It ain't nothing wrong with watching shows and shit, but sometimes these shows put y'all in that state in the world to the point that y'all don't be satisfied until y'all experience a similar situation that somebody on Love and Hip Hop experienced. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can be like, yeah, that same kind of shit happened to me. Nah, chill. You know what I'm saying? Use these people's testimonies as experiences so you could have a new testimony, not somebody else's testimony. You need to add on with consciousness, not cling on to other shit in the most lightest way. So when we talk about vibrations, it's important for females to be yourself. That's what I was getting back to automatically when we talk about your sexual natures. If you're a sexual person, if you're a smart, Sappho, what they call that person, when you love more intelligence, that's more sexy to you than other shit. Also, pardon me, y'all state of beings create what you're going to manifest. So females, a lot of times, this is why y'all get jobs. Y'all get jobs subconsciously because y'all walk up already in the spirit like, I know I'm going to get this. For an example, y'all got shit that males don't got. And it be shit that don't be having nothing to do with what you're trying to do. But if it's in the same energy signature, it's always going to accumulate. So females be always a step ahead of males. And what's the best way I can explain this? For an example, right? Okay, males just have, a male could be ugly or whatever. But so if he's, and I'm just using a job for an example. So he just have to purely hope or be like, you know what I'm saying, jump into a whole spiritual state or something like that. Just be like, okay, I'm going to get this job or whatever like that. But a man do not actually truly know. He's just experiencing. Now, a female don't know either. But here's the things that females do naturally that it's like a snowball effect. And even though what they're doing naturally has nothing to do with getting a job, I'm about to explain how it has everything to do with that. Right? Now, a female, right, she'll get ready for the job and she like, all right, so I got to make sure I smell good. She might got a certain bra to perk up her titties, right? She like, okay, I got to make sure this right. You know what I'm saying? She's getting in the right vibration and the feeling, right? All right, I got to make sure this right. She's probably in a mirror for a whole hour doing her hair, making sure she look right. Now here's the thing. Those things are things that dudes don't care about. And it's a reason. You don't have to care about it, but here's the thing, right? A dude should have something else to cling on to build up on that energy snowball. Because here's the thing. Even though whatever the female was doing had nothing to do with getting a job, she's building self-esteem energy. So that self-esteem energy plays as a snowball effect into whatever you're doing. So before she even get in front of the boss to have that interview to see if she's going to get hired or not, she already done built up a whole bunch of energy from other shit that plays as a positive manner in that scenario, as in trying to get a job in front of. So when the manager pick up all kind of frequency vibes of, okay, this person is responsible, this person know how to take care of things, boom, 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 boom. Now this manager might not even know what you're responsible on, what you know how to take care of. And then your jobs that you put on there may have had nothing to do with what the job need for him to hire you. But he has still hired that female before the male because he's still picking up those frequency vibrations. It's just when the female was at home, she was still putting in the confidence energy signature. It was just going in the other directions. But she was still putting in that energy work. And by her being a female, by default, females care about those type of things. And those type of things, by default, is back to supported by confidence. Now look, here's what all the male lacked. The male like, all right, I'll just wash my face, brush my teeth. I might put some deodorant on, might splash a little cologne on, brush my hair. But the male ain't really thinking about it and to the point like, I gotta be like this to make sure I get a job. The male's looking at this before he go get the interview in a way of just looking at it like that's just normal to do. See, everything is about your intent. And the vibration that you put behind that intent, the intent is the intentions, where you're directing the energy. And the vibrations that you put behind that intent is how that intent going to look. It's how it's going to be manifested. It's how it's going to get manifested. It's how it's going to take shape and form in front of whatever you're trying to accumulate. You see what I'm saying? So just by default, just by being a male, you don't even pay attention to certain things. Now, you don't have to do what females do, but you can get up and say, probably read a book or get up and do some spiritual work or get up something that'll psych your mind up to be like, this is what I gotta be because I know I'm gonna get the job if I'm like this. And you don't think nothing else. Now I'm just using the job as an example, but you could take this into all multitudes of assets of life. But you know, just getting a job is like 90% of what everybody try to do right now. So you know what I'm saying? And I don't give a fuck if you even try to live in the tropics. You're still trying to align yourself into getting a job. Job just means working. Your spirit always going to psych yourself up to work so it can gain some spiritual strength. Now, regardless of how the illusion of work look in this realm of reality, there's billions of different ways of how work look. But I don't even give a fuck if you want to live in the tropics and you want to develop some type of wisdom and knowledge to teach others. You're working on something. So don't ever get it fucked up. You see what I'm saying? Work is essential to your goddamn spirit. And without no goddamn spiritual strength, your ass is going to be too weak to travel in any type of astral realm. And this is what females understand. And this is why females a lot of times feel entitled and feel like that their work is elsewhere. 9 times out of 10, not physical labor. A lot of times females just feel like just being and just living is work. But you have to understand through a female's shoes what kind of vibrations that she are experiencing. And to a small degree, she's goddamn right. Because her state of being determines what's going to be experienced and what's being manifested in this world. So based upon your location, the female's vibration is going to determine what kind of neighborhood you live in. So pay attention to the grandmothers, the mothers, the daughters that's running around the neighborhood and what kind of energy state of being that they're in. They are the reasons why if it's a lot of killings, or they are the reasons why it's a positive neighborhood. But goddamn, the males ain't got nothing to do with that but to build on that and to keep that shit going. But the female state of being is what's actually bringing them spirits here. Because the females is the water intellectual property when we talk about the physical shapes and forms of blood cells that's walking here. So get that shit in mind. See what I'm saying? You can look at males like the fire, women like the water. So and we all creating air and earth to jump into. Which fire and water was our first solar plexus to jump into to survive in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. And then the air that came from that is our intellect in our 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional body, our spaceship, in order to go into a realm. And the more we add the air, it can become solid and become earth-like. So therefore, the air and the earth is the vehicles we go into to sustain ourselves in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension. And the fire and water is the vehicles we go into to experience ourselves in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. And as spirits, when you ain't got no body and you know body, and you understand you ain't nobody, goddamn nothing can affect you, and your ass be just pure in the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension with no body, and you can just jump in all your imaginations as freely. But if your ass choose to get lost, you'll go into an Elohim state, aka come down into the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension and be looking for a goddamn body that you could create for yourself in the 3rd dimension. So you need to understand, as females, this is what y'all naturally are doing if you didn't know. So for the most part, y'all need to know that the state of being that you guys are in is the actual energy that's actually going on in your location. So y'all just like water. Y'all just like the rivers that's flowing. That's why y'all get all those concepts when people like I'm getting pussy, or females smell like fish, or those are the waters, or releasing, and females dealing with more of the internal world. This is where all that come from. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you smell like fish, but for a lot of times, if you are a female that got a very nasty attitude, that's like a fish that's deep in the water, where all the nasty fish is at and things of that nature. So you got a nasty energy. So a lot of times you give off this perfume type of fume in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. And if you keep acting in that way, slowly but shortly in the 3rd dimension, you'll start eating shit that make your body smell in certain ways. And you can eat anything if your spiritual natures is clean. But if your spiritual natures is any way like I'm explaining it, then whatever you're eating will come out through your lower natures. And aka once it become a shape and form through your lower chakras, it become through your lower body vehicles. And you can smell it. And you end up getting stuff like what they call that, trichomotis or chlamydia and things of that nature, because when you got a bunch of dead blood cells down there by the uterus and things, and you're not properly gushing or you're not properly cleaning things, then these old dead blood cells start to accumulate other stuff on top of them and create infections and stuff like that. So therefore you'll spread an STD. And a lot of times y'all can get that shit just based upon the state of being that you in, and it start manifesting you not taking baths because you're stressed out about other shit, and it goes deep. But women, you are walking vibration, so you need to make sure if you in a relationship or around family members that's not correlating to you feeling comfortable more out of the day than being stressed out and gossipy out of the day, then for the most part you need to detach from these people and get around some people who can actually make you feel comfortable more percentage out of the day than uncomfortable. Now, like, it's a given for us to be uncomfortable. You just females, y'all just have to know that's what y'all doing. Therefore, you know how to get with it. So when you know you're going too much on the lower scale, you like, all right, let me stop before I start creating some shit in front of me that I don't actually want to see. You see what I'm saying? Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air. Love y'all.